That's right, it is possible to create your own bank-like system. And in this video, we are going to show you the exact formula that Darius and I use to implement this into our own lifestyle. Now, in just a few moments, I'm going to share with you a replay webinar that Darius and I did together for our entire Wealth Nation community. And we thought, why not take the recording and put it on YouTube so we can allow more of you to be exposed to this concept so that you can implement this concept and put it into your own lifestyle. Now, what I suggest you do now is grab a pen and a paper because we really challenge the way that you think about money as compared to how the banking systems work. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy our webinar that we like to call We Didn't Break the Bank, We Became One. Welcome, 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 family. Thank you again. Thank you so much. We're starting our clock because we said 45 minutes. We are going to work this out.
Hopefully we can get through it because sometimes I get a little into it and I get long-winded. So I'm going to do my best to basically stick to the script and get to the Q&A section.
All right, y'all. So welcome to We Didn't Break the Bank, We Became One. Hype horn. Woo, woo, woo. And let's be honest, because we had the opportunity to break the bank many times.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And when we say break the bank, meaning we didn't go out of our way to do something that of making additional money or borrowing money to create the system. It was basically taking our flow of money and redirecting it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really what we want you to understand throughout this presentation is the fact that you can redirect the flow of your money to get different results or the results that you're kind of looking for.
Absolutely. So like we said earlier, fam, we just want you to know each and every one of you, that's where we're pointing literally to you. We are so grateful for you all because if it wasn't for your support, we wouldn't be able to make videos and connect and to continue to share and help you all solve any financial thing that comes your way. So thank you for opening your hearts to us. Thank you for supporting not only Darius and myself, but the whole Wealth Nation team. It is truly a labor of love. And we are just thankful that you have taken time to be with us because we know time is the most precious asset that we all have.
Right. And for your time, one thing we want to do is share with you a free PDF that kind of illustrates the journey that we're going to take you on today. So you can have a little reminder of the things that you're able to do through the system that you create. So yeah, make sure you stay to the end to get that.
Yeah. And that is this little nugget on the screen. I made it small intentionally, fam, because for those of you who want to take a screenshot and try to save it, hold to the end because we will give you the actual PDF and you can have it large. All right. And I want you all to know that this illustration was actually created from the members of our Wealth Nation community. And it is so important that you all know the options and the ways that we can all work together and help empower each other. So we do have a community, and inside of our community, we create all sorts of amazing assets and illustrations and just conversations around money. So this asset that we're sharing with you came from our community.
Right. So if you've been with us before, you'll understand that we go through different variations of presentations and trying to make things more clear for not only for you to understand, but for us to be able to articulate the nuances because it's really not complicated. It's just that we make it complicated.
It can be. So the disclaimer today is that we are not starting a bank. For those of you who may be thinking that is not the case, we are going to show you the easy way to create a bank-like system without having to actually start one. All right. We are going to save you millions of dollars and hours, and you don't have to worry about hiring staff or needing customers to run your bank. And lastly, we're going to show you how to invest in your own lifestyle needs. I want to make sure you hear me clear on that. We want you to show you how to invest in your own lifestyle needs to create significant cash flow.
So what we're going to focus on is the bank. The banking, not the bank. There's a difference between the two. Banking is something everyone can do. It's a verb, it's an action. And that's a context clue that we have to take action in order to do banking. We're all doing it. We got our system going in a direction that doesn't serve us.
Yeah.
So what you'll get is a step-by-step strategy on how to create your own banking system, at least the first portion of it, so that we can kind of focus in on what you don't understand and how we can help you navigate through that. And we're going to show you how we invest using this system to create cash flow. And lastly, you'll discover how to maintain your system for the long haul.
Absolutely. So Darius actually teed this up, and I think that this is great. We were talking about taking action. So if you all are ready to take action today, let us know in the chat. Say, I am ready to take action. Go ahead and put that in the chat. I am ready to take action, because this is the only way this whole system is going to work. I want to see it. All right. So while you all are saying I'm ready to take action now, Josh Lowe, thank you. I see you. Just for introduction purposes, thank you all, fam. I see it, right? We are all here because we are ready to take action. Now, just in case you do not know who Darius and I are, we are insurance agents. We are the co-creators of the Wealth Nation YouTube channel, and over 6 years of experience educating thousands of people about this infinite banking concept. And through this process, we have helped people understand financial literacy and financial freedom. And to date, it still blows my mind that we have helped families create over $150 million in generational wealth.
Right. And what's not on the screen is the fact that we've been married for 10 years. We're parents. We actually went through this whole process ourselves personally and with our families, and understanding finance and tracking it back to our families, and having conversation around what are some of the things that you learned and why we didn't kind of catch on to it. We also had the ability of sitting with other wealthy families and asking them the same questions on how they got the information themselves. So that's why we're doing what we're doing, because this information that we're sharing is basic information that should be taught in schools, along with 2 + 2 and 3 - 3. It should be taught along those same lines, but it's not.
Not at all. So thank you all for everyone who said we are ready to take action. We love surrounding ourselves with action takers who want to get started. So now, why is this important? Is because although we have introduced this concept to thousands of people, today we want you to have the knowledge so that you can take the exact formula that we talk about and change the flow of money so you can earn interest like the banks and create financial freedom for you and your family. Now, before we get into this, I want you all to be clear on what you think financial freedom is, right? Because financial freedom is going to be different for everybody. Financial freedom, let's just think about it from a monthly basis. Like, what could financial freedom mean for you every month? Is that an extra $500? Is that an extra $1,000, $1,500, 10 grand? I don't know. Think about that just for a minute.
I think financial freedom is making enough money where you don't have to think about it. And I think that number changes along with us. You can't put a dollar amount on it because of, and I'm talking to me personally, this is my personal opinion. You can't put a dollar amount on it because of inflation. That changes. That changes how much things cost, and we've seen that. So it's making enough money to where you don't have to think about it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I love that. It's simple. That Darius always puts things so simply, but so impactfully. It's just like it's a dagger to the heart. Like, I ain't got to worry about it. Okay, that's freedom. All right. So guess what? We have a 4-step formula for you. Go figure. And I'm going to let you know that it's probably something that you can figure out. Okay. So the 4-step formula is something that we consider a formula that is guaranteed to work. Guaranteed to work. You know why I can say that? You know why I can say that, fam? Because it's already been done. It's already currently happening. And we are all immersed in this system, whether if you know it or not. So the reason or the way,
or you want to accept it or not.
Yeah, that's really what it is. So what we want you to understand is this system will work for you. What's the catch?
You got to work the system.
I got to work it in the chat. I got to work it. You just told me that you want to take action. So are you going to work it? I am going to work it. Put it in the chat. Let us know that you're listening. This is interactive, folks. So this is not just us talking. This ain't YouTube. This is a webinar. All right. We got it. I am going to work it. All right. I see you all. Thank you so much.
Perfect. So here are the 4-step formulas. The first one is the bank formula. It's the B in budget. Banks manage their money, so we should do the exact same thing. And that's going to be the theme moving forward, is comparing what we do to the bank. And if we're doing the exact same things as the bank, we're pretty much cousins. You know what I mean? It's the only difference is the drive in the direction that we're going in, but we in this thing together, because their system doesn't work without us and ours doesn't work without them.
Amen. I hear you. All right. The next letter in this formula, we started with B. The next one is A. A stands for assets, the accumulation of assets. We're going to go into this so that you can foreshadow what the banks are doing with their assets versus what we are doing. Next one is N, navigate financial systems. I want you guys to think about what is the last letter? What is the last letter? N is navigate financial systems. So we got to understand how the banks are doing. Thank you. Hey, but we see you, right? All right, y'all caught on. Y'all caught on. So the last letter in this formula is K, which is knowledge enhancement. And that's really kind of what you all are here for today. You are continuing to learn and apply. You said you're ready. You want to work this out. So what we want to make sure that we are all on the same page today is you all said that you want to create your own bank-like system. So let's use a bank formula to make it happen. All right. So can I buy a vowel? I see you, Eamon. All right. Let's go ahead and jump into the meat and potatoes of what we're talking about. So if you want to grab a pen and paper, this is the time to do so. So ingrain this picture in your head. The flow of money. Just out of curiosity. I'm trying to figure out how to ask my question. Are you all familiar with the flow of money? Yes, no, maybe so.
It flows out of your pocket to somebody else's.
So the flow of money, your income, look at the bottom of the screen, your income, AKA inflow, goes into the bank. We'll call that safekeeping. And then it's going to go out to expenses or outflow. Okay, so your money comes in and it goes out. Money goes in and it goes out. We just want you to get the picture. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, what's left at the end of the month when your money goes in and it goes out? For everybody, it might be different. For us, this is what it looked like back in the day.
It's because of our priorities. Mm-hmm. And what you prioritize, what you focus on is the results that you get.
Mm-hmm. So let's go back to this process, right? So the flow of money, your money comes in, inflow goes to the bank. Let me word it this way. Your income goes into your bank account to pay your expenses. What part of this process did you own, fam? I think we need some elevator music. Income. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you, Jeff.
Disposable income. Okay. Nothing.
Quintina, I think that's, if I say that correctly, nothing. You own nothing, right? I said your income, your bank account, your expenses. You didn't own any part of this process.
You just facilitated. Mm-hmm. You just helped facilitate something that they were going to do anyway. Mm-hmm. The thing is, the money comes into it doesn't even hit your pocket. It goes straight to the bank. Your direct deposit goes into somebody else's bank, which is something that we can't avoid, because even if we got a paper check, we still had to go to the bank in order to cash it.
That sounds like a system.
It sounds exactly like a system.
So the idea, fam, is we said you don't own any part of this process, right? So let's start thinking about how we can take our income, put it in a bank, and pay other people / expenses, because we also have to.
Or that's what we're already doing.
Yeah. Excuse me.
The money that goes into the bank is going to other people and other businesses. And what we want to do is we want to position ourselves on the other end of that, because we can't go around the bank. And if we can't beat them, then we should join them. So those other businesses and other people, that should be you. That's who you should be focusing on replacing in this system, because we can't replace the actual bank itself, because they're too deeply rooted into our day-to-day and everyday lives to where they're just there by default. So the only thing we can do is we can look at what they're doing and do it for ourselves.
Exactly. So let's look at the flow of money. This is the beautiful picture of you versus the bank. Okay. And this is never like a verse, like we're not at odds.
No,
we are looking to emulate to what the banks are doing. Now let's put some numbers behind this. We have $1 million. We're going to say for this presentation, you have $1 million net worth versus the bank, who has $423 billion.
And this is just what's represented on the stock market for JP Morgan. JP Morgan Chase, $423 billion. And we're just going to say, just for easy words, you have a net worth of $1 million. There's still a difference of the $1 million versus the 423 billion. So if there's a difference in that number and I'm trying to get to that position, I should copy exactly what somebody in that position or a business in that position is doing, just on my own scale.
Absolutely. And this isn't a formatting error, folks, by the way. I want to let you know we intentionally wrote the $423 billion this way, because if you look on the first line, you guys both have 7 digits, but the bank has a few more after you, right? So this is just a visual effect that we are trying to make sure that you all understand how Jimmy says we are participating in an existing system. Right. I love that.
Right.
So let's jump into B stands for budget, folks.
Right. So here's the thing. Do banks manage their money? If banks manage their money, yes. Just says yes.
Pause for the delay.
Yes. Banks manage their money. So I don't do the technical stuff because I always mess up. But
no,
anyways, banks manage their money through a combination of various activities and financial instruments to maintain liquidity, meet their obligations, and make profitable investments. That's why the banks manage their money, so they can maintain liquidity, meet their obligations, and make profitable investments. What do you think those obligations are? We're a part of it. So what's the reason why? Why is it important for the banks to manage their money so they can be liquid, maintain their obligations, and invest money so they can, of course, make that money?
Yep.
It's for customer deposit management. That's one of the specific areas that I wanted to focus on as it relates to the banks, because banks need to ensure they have enough money to meet withdrawal requests. Every time we go to the bank, they need to make sure they have enough money so that we can pay our bills, so we can go out and hang out and do whatever we want to do. We need cash,
money.
the
Think
flow of
about
money.
That.
So they need to maintain a steady source of low cost funds. Our deposits in the banks are low cost funds for the bank.
Yes.
So they use those deposits for lending and investing. So if they're taking our money at a low cost and then they're lending and investing, that's our first clue right there.
Yep. And
the first thing we have to do is we have to set up a system or a budget or manage our funds so that we're able to do this. The only reason the banks are able to do this because they have a system in which they manage. So for us, if it's good enough for the banks, we should do it too. In order to maintain liquidity, we got that straight from the banks. In order for us to meet our financial obligations, we got that straight from the bank. And in order for us to make profitable investments. So far, nothing's changed. The only thing that's changed between the two is the million versus the $423 billion. The actions that we take is still going to be exactly the same. We need to manage our money for the system that we create, for the system that we maintain, and for our legacy in the next generation.
So the next step in this whole process is essentially what we want to do is to emulate. So all right, we're not moving forward. There we go. All right. So what we want to do, if we're going to emulate this whole process, then what we need to do, right, is we need to create our personal deposit management, right? 2 slides ago, Darius was saying that the banks have to do all these things because of their customer deposit management. We're going to flip the script and we are going to do this for our personal deposit management. This means that we need to ensure that we have enough funds to meet our unexpected expenses, loss of income, while maintaining a steady flow of low-cost funds. And we need to use our savings for lending and investing. Low-cost funds. I see you, Jimmy. And let's talk about unexpected expenses. Right above us, we have water damage. Our dishwasher has been leaking unbeknownst to us, and all of our floors are ripped up. Talk about an unexpected expense. So if you are not maintaining your finances, when things come up, things like the dishwasher flooding your floors can really wreck your system. Okay.
And it happens all the time. So what we have to do is, in the place of deposits, what we have is savings. It's still in the bank, but that's what we can say we can control. We have to control the controllables, and we have to manage our money to prioritize savings over necessities. Because without money, would we be able to take care of those necessities? Without money or without savings, would we be able to take care of the dishwasher that was unexpectedly flooding the floor for the past month?
So in the chat, I want you to write savings over necessities. Make sure that y'all are still with us and that you guys understand this. Savings over necessities.
And
this
we're
is
gonna
a
break
big
it.
deal.
Yeah, we're gonna break it down a little more because savings. I need to save money over. What about my mortgage? What about
it's a mindset
this? What
shift.
about that? Yeah,
it's a mindset shift. It's really gonna mess with you, but until you start applying it, then it starts making sense.
right.
Okay, so the 4 reasons that we need to save money, thank you all. You all are participating so well. Thank you. Is we have 4 reasons for savings. The first one is unexpected expenses. The next one is for 6 months of necessities.
Unexpected expenses.
The next one is family protection and then investments. Okay.
Now, the 6 months of necessities is important because if we're only focused on, or if our main source of income is one source of income, then we possibly got a problem. Because if that source of income is gone, then we at least have 6 months 6 months of savings saved up so that we can maintain our existing lifestyle until we find additional source of income.
Yeah. And
that's the whole point.
The reason why we are expounding on this is because traditionally what we found through our research is people just feel like savings is one thing, an emergency fund. And I saw you, Maurice, in there. So yes, emergency fund, but people don't think about savings in multiple capacities. So we want to make sure, again, in order for you to have this system, the banks have all sorts of systems in place, and you need to be able to have the same moving forward.
Right.
All right.
They have liquidity because they have obligations. Those are our obligations, and the reason why we need to be liquid for emergencies, have an emergency fund, the unexpected expenses, for the 6 months of saving, unexpected loss of a source of income.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we need to protect our family.
Now, moving on to assets. All right. So the accumulation of assets. So do we think that banks have assets? Absolutely. And on this screen, we have 12 assets listed that the banks have. All right. So follow along with me. We're going to rattle these off.
Now, the cash and bank-owned life insurance, that's on the same, I put that on the same line because life insurance and cash is the same thing.
And so loans and mortgages, right? That could be the same thing. So securities, real estate, interbank assets, customer deposits, derivative instruments, physical assets, goodwill and intangible assets, reserve and allowances, fixed income and equity investments, deposits with central banks, to name a few.
Right. So the banks deposits with central banks deposit their money into the central bank so they can have their savings. That's where banks put their savings. Then banks also have interbank assets. Banks lend money to other banks. Go figure. Banks lend money to other banks. The securities, that's of course stocks and things of that nature. The derivatives is there was a whole movie on derivatives. The Big Short. That's the entire movie on derivatives on and how the bank, they're able to hedge their funds with derivative instruments. But that's what the bank's on. Again, this is $423 billion. What do we
you see where we're going with this?
You see where we're going. Now, there are a couple of things that we also do on our end. And hold on, let's go back to the bank-owned life insurance. That's something that we have in common. When we talk about family protection, they're protecting their family through bank-owned life insurance.
It's called BOLI, bank-owned life insurance.
And we just want to do the exact same thing. So cash and life insurance is an asset that we have access to. Securities, the same securities the banks have access to. Real estate, physical asset, fixed income, equity investments, peer-to-peer lending. Where the banks do interbank lending, we're going to do peer-to-peer lending. What we are looking at is doing things on our own scale. $1 million compared to 423 billion. We're on the same poles. We share the same polarity. It's just that ours is turned all the way down to 1 million versus theirs being 423 billion.
Yeah. Now, when you look at the screen, remember, we're comparing 12 to 6 potentially. So just take a moment and think about where you are with your own financial journey. What assets on this screen do you participate in? Just stop and think about it, because all we want you to see is the potential
and the similarities
of what you could potentially start investing in, and the similarities with these systems that we're talking about.
So I see life insurance. That's exactly what we're going to talk about now. One of the 4 reasons for savings, again, is unexpected expenses, 6 months of necessities, family protection, and investments. The reason why family protection is highlighted because that is life insurance. And just to kind of give you a little
visual.
What we're going to do is, okay, just whole life insurance, maintain a steady source of low cost funds to lend and invest. So just to give you a little visual on how we participate with the banks and how we can use some of the assets that we have access to take care of our family protection and our investments at the same time. So this is you put your money into the bank. You deposit your money into Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Safe if you're in Sumter.
That's what it's called.
Yeah, Safe Bank. Whatever your bank is, but you deposit that money into the bank. What the bank has to do is, your cash inside the bank is a liability, so they have to pay you interest. Because they have to pay you interest, it's a liability to them. It's a cost. That's the low cost funds that they have access to, which is your deposits. They pay that interest to you. Now they invest with interest, with you being the investment. Because everything that we showed in that screen earlier, the asset screen, your mortgages, your car note, your personal loans, the credit cards that you use, all those are investments for the bank. And that profit comes back to them. The only difference is all the profit doesn't come to you. It stays in the bank. They still just pay you for that deposit. So what this means is there's some action that needs to be taken on our end in order to take this step further. That's where whole life insurance come in. And you see the difference between the interests, because that if we take on this responsibility for ourselves through a whole life insurance policy, we have more interest that can flow back to us for us to buy more life insurance and buy more investments. This, what we're introducing you to, is a system that the only thing we've changed is the assets that we're using. That's the only thing we've done at this point.
And it's important to note too, with this process, like what Darius was just sharing, as we replace the bank, right, we have the opportunity to create more systems. It doesn't just have to stop at one. And that's what we quickly found out with this whole process. And I know you all have been rocking with us for a minute. We have multiple policies, and we're at the point where we have 6, and we're continuing to figure out what are we going to do to build our system so that we can continue to keep up with our personal flow of money. And this has been an amazing opportunity to just take more ownership of our finances and to really control as much as we can with the process.
Control the controllables.
Control the controllables. So that's why you see these whole life insurance policies continue to build, because we need to create more assets, right?
To buy more assets.
We're taking out the middleman. I see you, Quintina. Fantastic. So now moving on to N. All right. We're moving and grooving through this. We're putting the numbers back on the screen for navigating financial systems, because again, we want you to see that temperature check, where you are versus where the banks are. We need to close the gap as much as we can. So if we are to close the gap, we need to understand financial systems. And in today's webinar, we can only talk about one financial system because there are just so many. So we figured we would talk about one that we all probably are aware of, and that is an amortization schedule. So for those of you who own a car or a home, you have probably seen what an amortization schedule looks like. I copied this directly from Google, this screenshot, so that we all have the definition. And that is, an amortization schedule is a record of your loan payment that shows principal amounts and the interest included in each payment. The schedule shows all payments until the end of the loan term.
So it's important for the banks to understand where their money is at all times. Because when it comes from the bank to you, is their money. When it goes from you to the bank, it's still their money.
Absolutely. And that's a good point. And guess what? We've checked B, right, for budget, we're tracking, and we've checked A for asset, because now there's a loan involved, and that loan is an asset, right? So now we have to navigate that system. And this is what an amortization schedule actually looks like. This is our own amortization schedule for our Kia that we purchased. And we wanted to show this specific example because we figure it's the most common that everybody could understand, is the purchase of a car, right? So when you think about our car that we purchased through our own system, the price of that car was $41,253.87. This is our system again. So meaning we had enough cash value in our whole life insurance policy to buy the car outright from our system.
It was actually $40,253. $2.87, but they charge us $1,000 for paying cash.
Yep.
Go figure.
That's a story for later. So long story short, we didn't tell them we were paying cash, and it wasn't until we got to the table and we were about to make the transaction, and they said, "Oh, you're paying cash. We thought you were financing. It's an extra $1,000." And we're like, "What? The check is right here." So we actually had to leave the dealership, go to the bank because we had a cashier's check. We had to go to the bank, get a new cashier's check, and come back, just so you guys know. That's the whole story. So anyways, long story short, what Darius and I were doing was we were playing the financing game, because we're like, if we were going to finance this thing through our own system, how much would, maybe a mid-range credit score give you? And they told us 10%. So we said, all right, charge ourselves 10%. Now, why in the world would we charge ourselves 10%? Because y'all see that payment is $872.61 a month.
For a Kia. But when you're financing it, you think of money a little differently. You think of all that you think of that monthly payment differently, because you're able to benefit from it. There's a difference in being on the other side of the table when it's the bank, versus you being on both sides of the table and creating a contract between yourself.
Absolutely. So with everything that you see on the screen, I mean, we're just going to go through it really quickly. You see payment number. We're going to pay this for 5 years, the date that it started, the balance, scheduled payments. We break it up between principal and interest, right? So there's $343 going to interest and the ending balance. Why is this important for you to know? It's because at the end of the term, how much money do you see in this green screen or the green box? Right? In case you can't see it, it's on your screen now. $11,408.25. Why is this important for you to know? Because this is all of the interest that we are holding on to, because we used our own system. We borrowed, we are paying premiums. We had cash in our policy. By the way, this is a season policy. This wasn't one that we had, immediately. We use this policy to pay off a ton of debt and use other things for, and it grew to the point where we were able to buy a car with it. Right. We take the money out, we get a loan. Let's clarify. We get a loan, pay off the car. And now every single month we're making those payments back to us through this amortization schedule.
Right. Now we're going to get get into knowledge. But one thing I want to share with everyone is, think about this payment going away from you. We're saying that we're going to be paying 10%. But when you take a look at the $11,000 compared to the $40,000, that's more like a 25%. And that happens all the time. That's why it's so important for us to be on the right side of these equations, so that we can benefit from these interest rates that we accept aren't the real interest rates that we're actually paying because of compound interest. And if you don't understand compound interest, you're bound to pay compound interest.
Yeah. And going back to the vision that we showed you earlier, the flow of money, right? If you have inflow and outflow and you aren't capitalizing on any of that, you're always going to lose your ability to earn interest. So these are just the nuances that we're trying to tweak here, segue this whole process, right? So can you use an amortization schedule to track and manage other loans? Yes, 100%. Why? Because if we're going to do the same emulation, we need the same financial systems to maintain our systems, right? We got a budget, we need assets to cash flow our system, and we need systems to manage it. So going to this whole process, we are just sharing samples of what we've done, right? So we've used our policies to pay off debt, invest in real estate, pay for vacations, utilities, rent, mobile homes, peer-to-peer lending, business funding, home renovations, one's going to happen soon, tax payments, education, and gap funding. Okay. And this is just what we've done, right?
And this is based on our personal lifestyle.
Yes.
We have to get the fundamentals so that you can apply it to your own personal life, so you can own your own lifestyle. The only thing we're doing is sharing with you our experience, so you can start getting some ideas on how you can apply it for yourself.
Absolutely. So we're breezing right along. Now we're going to go to K, which is knowledge enhancement.
So in order for us to get from a million, turn our million into 423 billion, the difference between you and the bank is what you know. The bank's got a 100-year head start on us. So it's safe to say that they know something that we don't know. And if they know something we don't know, why don't we just copy what they're doing until we figure it out? That's basically all I'm saying. So with the knowledge enhancement, if we're copying them, that means we're taking action. What are you doing? We're prioritizing saving. If that's one thing that you get from this presentation and today, is to prioritize savings, that gives you the ability and flexibility to take advantage of other things. Because if you don't have no money, you can't do anything. If you don't have any money, the banks won't even give you money. So prioritize savings, redirect your cash flow to make that a priority. Take care of your unexpected expenses. Make sure you have an emergency fund or whatever you want to call it. We call it an ABC account in our in the money school. Make sure you have 6 months of your necessities saved. The only way you can segment your necessities and your necessities, your savings, and your things that you want is to budget.
Yep.
Know exactly how much each one of those things costs. So 6 months of savings, 6 months of necessities. Family protection is a priority. Investments is a priority. And knowledge enhancement is a priority, because the only way your family is going to learn this information is if you teach them. The next thing is going to be...
Oh, wait, hold on. As soon as you're saying something, I just had this epiphany that I want to share, if you don't mind me interrupting.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want you all to think about this for just a second. What Darius has on the screen right here, it says prioritize savings. So I want you to think, really think, what is the underlining theme between unexpected expenses, needing 6 months of 6 months of funds for your necessities, family protection, and investments? Let us know in the chat if you know what is the underlining theme. What is the result? Peace, protection,
profit, peace of mind,
financial freedom. Yes, discipline,
stability.
You all are saying it without saying it. Control, savings. All right, peep this, fam. Peep this. It's insurance. Oh, cue the hype horn.
See,
Cue the hype horn. This is insurance. Think about it.
All insurance is a pool of funds that the insurance company charge you access to have.
We can go home. We are home. Do you see what I'm saying? We overcomplicate this process. We need savings. Why? Because it's insurance. Our dishwasher just went out. We need 6 months of savings, or we need 6 months of necessities. Why? Insurance for our income. We need family protection, insurance for our life, for our value that we're bringing to this earth. Investments. What is that insurance of? More income. Let's make it simple. Sorry, Darius. I was moved to say that today.
Man, I don't even know if we need to go with. I like it.
Say insurance in the chat if y'all hear me. If you see where I'm going.
I like it.
If you're picking up what I'm putting down, put insurance in the chat. All we're doing is building more insurance. All right. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you.
So the next thing we need to focus on, have knowledge on, is the assets that we accumulate and use our savings like the banks use deposits. Use our savings like the banks use deposits. So we're going to use our savings for cash, which is insurance on our, what'd you say? Insurance on our...
It's just insurance, blanket statement.
It's insurance for emergencies, and we're also going to have insurance on our life. We're going to have securities. We're going to buy for our income. We're going to buy real estate because we're all in houses. Why not make that an asset class that you leverage your cash for, your insurance for? Physical assets. We all have cars. We need transportation to get to and from wherever we're going. We have equipment that we use for work. Fixed income, equity investments, businesses, peer-to-peer lending. This is what we're going to be. These are the assets that we're going to accumulate so that we can have multiple sources of income by using the premiums that we put into our life insurance policies and then leveraging that cash value to buy other assets. Now, here's the secret sauce as to why we're using cash value, is because our savings that we put into our life insurance policies, we want to keep. Right. And what the banks are doing is they're leveraging our money, our deposits that we put into the bank. They're paying us a small amount of interest, and then they're keeping the profits.
Absolutely.
The only thing we're going to do is change positions. We're going to use the insurance company's money while our money stays in our insurance policy. We're going to borrow from the insurance company. We're going to pay them the 4% interest or the small amount of interest, and we're going to make more money and keep the profit for ourselves.
Absolutely.
That's the only thing that we're doing differently.
Sounds like a whole bunch of insurance to me.
But the thing is, and we're going to get into the questions in a little bit, is that we overcomplicate the system that we're already doing. We're already walking the walk. We're just walking in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
So let's just change the direction that we're walking.
It's like maps, reroute.
Yeah, reroute, recalculating.
Exactly. All right, fam. It's just so much fun. It's so much fun to go through all of this. So let's just take a break for a minute, okay? Because that was lightning fast. What our timer went off? We've gone through a lot. Okay, we have gone through a lot. We talked about
minutes.
The bank formula. All right, we're right on track. We talked about budget. We talked about asset accumulation, navigating systems, and knowledge enhancement. Right. So all of us are probably doing all of these things, maybe in different ways, maybe in the wrong direction. Let's gather up everything and bring it together. So that's why we just want to regroup. So what we've shared so far, right? We've shown you the exact system that we call the bank formula, and it's a system that we personally use to have purchased 6 policies and counting, because our system is going to continue to grow, and especially now with children.
Right. And the important thing to understand is that our system bought. The only thing we did is we redirected the flow of money. All that debt we were in, we had to find another purpose for it. So we directed it in buying assets that bought assets.
That's another knowledge shop.
Matter of fact, since we started our business, we make less money now than we did when we were an engineer and a project manager. But the only way we're able to do that is because we manage our money differently now. Everybody, you have a lot more money than you think. You have a lot more money than you think. I guarantee you do.
Absolutely. You just have to know how to manage your money.
Right.
And until you have that clarity, it just changes the game. So let's move on. So recapping everything that we discussed, like I said, I already kind of went through this. We have that image in our head, right? The flow of money. We need to figure out how to capitalize on the flow of money, right? B stands for budget, A stands for asset, N stands for navigating financial systems, and K stands for knowledge enhancement. Okay. So real quick, I want to know thoughts, because we have been going for 43 minutes. In the chat, let me know. Let me know how we're doing, because it's important for us to make sure that we are giving you maximum value in the small amount of times that we have with you guys live. Okay. So the first question is, can you take what you learned today and apply it immediately? And if that's the case, then say yes in the chat, please. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, guys. Beautiful.
That's the most important thing. We got about 350 YouTube videos. And we felt like it's important for us to really carve out some time to speak directly with you guys, because I don't know if you see like some of the comments we get. It has nothing to do with what we're saying. It's we just really want people to change financially for the better, to better serve themselves. Yeah, absolutely. Now, going back to the thought. So thank you all. Jimmy, I saw that you said you're stuck. You're in the money school, fam, so you're not stuck. We got you. So speaking of that, with the money school, we want to make sure that, again, we have the ability to share and create as much opportunity as we can to help you all realize your potential. Okay. So with that being said, we want to know if you want to continue working with us and learning from us. Now, for everyone that is joining us tonight that is already in the money school, all right, I want you to say, grow the family in the chat. If you're already in the money school.
If you're already in the money school, I want you to say grow the family. And everyone else who said yes, we want to continue learning from us. Darius and I we are on a mission, fam. I got goosebumps thinking about it. We are on a mission. We have to help 1 million families create financial freedom. We have to. I get emotional thinking about it. With everything that we've gone through this year, even more so, we are fueled to serve as many families as we possibly can, because like Jimmy, like you said, somebody who might think that you're stuck, you aren't stuck. We just can see better than you can right now, but you're going to be able to see just as clear as we can. All right. So with that being said, we are going to invite you to join the Money School, fam. Okay. So the Money School is a membership. It's a community that we have created where you can continue to apply the flow of money concept. We can start learning more about the bank formula and expounding on that. You can start the Pay Yourself First challenge, which is something that I'm really excited that we're going to talk about. That starts tomorrow. All right. You can discover the solid foundation of banking. And inside our community, you can literally ask questions and share and surround yourself with other like-minded individuals who are doing the same thing. Okay. So inside the Money School membership, what we are offering you today is 2 on-demand courses. The first one is the Pay Yourself First Challenge. This one I am thrilled about. Why? Because we're really budgeting geeks at the heart of everything that we do. We love a good challenge with a spreadsheet. And so the idea behind this is we want you to start out today, and many members have already been through this, is we want you to start out, well, really tomorrow, since it's late, we'll give you to tomorrow, to start learning how to have better financial habits so that you can create a savings fund, that insurance fund, right, fam? That is going to allow you to handle any emergency that comes your way so you can continue on the path to cash flow. Inside the Pay Yourself First Challenge, there are 22 lessons. This is a 4-week challenge. There are daily exercises for you to do, and you can continue to do this every single day, every single week, however it comes to challenge yourself. Okay. The next thing that we are offering you is the Foundations of Banking, which is 24 lessons. And this is something that Darius and I created specifically out of the need for knowledge and like, how do I get started with this process? Whether or not I have a policy or not, how do I find the right bank, meaning insurance company? How do I stash my cash? How do I have a policy designed for my specific needs?
What does your policy look like, Carmen and Darius? What kind of policy you got?
How does this whole thing work? And then how do I bank in real life? I got this thing. How does it work? Right? So we have real life examples that we're sharing with you so you can apply the knowledge today. All right. So you all told me at the beginning of this whole process that you said you were ready to take action and you want to get started, right? So inside the community, what I want to show you really quick is I'll actually stop sharing my screen and you can see very, very quickly. Let me know. Can you all still see my screen even though I popped to a different tab? So this should be, okay, perfect. So you should see this is the community, right? So I'm actually on the events tab. So if you go into the home tab, this is what I'm inviting you all to join. This is our personal community that is literally off of YouTube, and we can engage and have a ball doing it, right? So you can start here. You see we have all of the navigations for orienting yourself. You have introductions where new members are going to share their introductions and say why they decided to join us. We have discussions where you can engage. You can tell us wins. Darius and I have been sharing behind the scenes stuff, ask for help, right? We have questions. We're here to serve. So you get what we're saying here. And at the end of the day, when you click on courses, again, this is my access. So this is everything that we have in here, but you would have access to our masterclass, which is free. You will have the Pay Yourself First Challenge and the Foundations of Banking course. Okay. So, oh, I got out of my screen. So let me go back to the presentation. Because the whole point, again, fam, is for you to join the Money School so we can hold your hand, we can support you, we can cheer with you along the way. And the thing that we want you to know is this is the most affordable way for you to get access into the Money School, because we have other programs that we're going to be offering coming 2024. And the first one is going to be an accelerator program, which is a certification program. And our mastermind is $2,000 a year. Okay, so we want to make sure that you have all the tools that you need to start banking, even if the accelerator program and the mastermind program is out of your budget. So today we are not offering anything that's $2,000 or $500, $600 really. It's going to be so much more affordable than that. And I'll share with you in just a minute. Okay, so let's look at the value of everything. The Pay Yourself First Challenge, that value is $1,500. The Foundations of Banking is $2,500. And having access to our community is $8,000. Now, let me remind you guys, Darius and I are in the community, right? Our team is in the community. So you have access to us by literally just asking a question. And we have, like we said, years of experience of being able to apply this not only professionally, but for ourselves. And we can keep you in the loop with what's happening from a professional standpoint.
Right. And the nice thing about our team members is they also use their life insurance policies, but they also have different focuses. It may be real estate. It might be stock investments. It might be retirement. People have different focuses that they understand, and they leverage their policies accordingly.
Absolutely.
So that's one of the reasons, like personally, honestly, for us, we started a community because we realized as we were going through this, the community that helped us it was a freaking community.
We're bringing our community to you.
Right.
Because again, the point about this is, since we are doing this personally, we recognize that like sometimes it can be a little lonely out there, and it's like, oh, let me pop into the community and see if somebody can help me with this resource. So that's again why we created this. All right, so now going into this value, you add up all the numbers. This is $12,000, and again, this is nothing that you have to worry about today. Today it is only $149, fam. So Donna Barry, go ahead, put the subscription link in the chat for me so that those who are interested can go ahead and join. Like we said, it's $149. Today, we are going to start the Pay Yourself First Challenge tomorrow. So if y'all are ready to take action and start leveraging your savings so we can supercharge this process so that you can start funding and building your banking systems, then we want to see you in the community tomorrow. And since you stayed with us until the very end, thank you so much. We promise that we're going to send you that PDF of the policy graph that we created. Now, one thing I want to make sure that we're on the same page of is clarity.
So
equals power.
Right. So we want to.
So let's take a minute and answer some questions. But again, we're only going to be on just for, let's say, like 5 more minutes. And we want to make sure that you guys have the ability to go ahead and click on that link and join the Money School right now.
Right. So one of the questions right off top that I saw, or the last question I saw, is, are you licensed life insurance agents? Yes, we are licensed life insurance agents. We wouldn't be able to talk about insurance without being licensed. Our team, not only are they licensed life insurance agents, they're also financial advisors, financial planners. So that's another thing that you have access to. One of the things that I try to do, or that we try to do with the team, is we realize that not everybody had access to people to advise them about money.
Yes.
Depending on where your income is, you don't have the ability to or you may not feel comfortable to talk to a financial advisor. But what we've done is we've created that relationship so that you can, in the Money School, speak with actual financial advisors, certified financial advisors.
Absolutely. And yeah, like Darius said, we have been literally building the train, so to speak, while we've been on it with our own personal journey, right? Because we recognized once we had our policies, oh, we want to do some investing. Who can we talk to about investments? Oh, we want to do other things. Who do we talk to about this? How do we surround ourselves with other people who are also doing this so we don't feel like we're out on our own island trying to convince all of our family and friends that this is a bad thing to do? So we have literally created the systems that we wanted as our own clients. It is important, again, that we continue to grow the family, and we want you all to be with us.
Are you getting choked up?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I felt the same thing.
It's been a minute since we've been, with the family live.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's always a pleasure, and we have the ability to do this. So
thank you so much for your time, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
We really appreciate you. What do you think?
Yeah, thank you so much. Good night. We love you all.
And your own lifestyle.
Or someone else will. Bye, you guys.
Bye for now.